Hey, welcome, everybody. Thank y'all for joining us today with Evolutionary Men's Talk. Today, it's a select group of guys here with me today. I am Coach Ferg. You can follow me on YouTube at Coach Ferg. I'm joined with a great group of guys who've been handpicked by Evolutionary Media, and we're going to just be chopping it up over the course of the next few weeks about various topics on men and how men can be better. So let's get a feel of the room. Let's just go around the room, fellas. Again, my name is Coach Ferg, man. Just an ugly old dude that's retired at 57 now and just enjoying life, man. So I want to thank y'all for joining me today, want to be a part of that, man. So salute to y'all, man. So let's just go around the room, starting with my man to my, what is that? Is that my right? Yeah, to my right. And just introduce yourselves, man. Go ahead.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Daryl. Working class man, 9 to 5, regular dude, into sports, cooking, you know, pretty much all around brother that, trying to do what I can do to survive and, do positive things for my people and my family.
Salute, man. Thank you, man. Next man up.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Kirk, aka Elevated Cognition. You can find me on IG at Elevated Cognition. Same thing for Facebook. Um, just a young boy who turned into a grown man trying to make things better.
Salute, brother.
All right, salute.
Don't y'all fellas fight for who want to go next, but
Oh, I'm like, I don't see old man Carl's gonna go.
We're gonna let the OG go last. We're gonna let the OG go last.
OG go last. All right. Just D. Been doing podcasting for a couple years now. Just excited to be a part of this panel. To see what happens going forward towards the end of this. See what happens.
Salute, man. Salute, man. Again, man, thank y'all for joining us here today. Man, y'all looking good. I will say that. I'm a man. I don't get caught up in giving man compliments, man. Y'all looking good, man. I appreciate y'all, man. Thank everybody in the chat. Y'all know anybody? I recognize anybody in the chat, man. Y'all want to give a shout out to?
Go ahead, OG. Introduce yourself.
Hey man,
Oh, I'm sorry. Clark,
ain't no problem. Just call Shaft2 on Instagram, average brother, retired. And I'm here for the smoke and I'm here for the intellect.
For sure. I'm sorry, Carl, man. I was getting excited, man. I was ready to jump, man. So, yeah, anybody in the chat y'all recognize, want to give a shout out to real quick before we get started?
I see a couple of people in here. Wilson Bab, Cole Medina. Shout out to them. Tyra Shanice. I like that name, Shanice.
Mm-hmm.
You got Pretty Pink in the building. Real Luna Satori. Okay. A couple of familiar names I see in here.
For sure. Shout out to Lady Navoa. Let me see who else. That was that. Somebody gave me a shout out. Tara Shanice. I think you already said his name. Pretty Pink. Listen, Cole Medina. I like these names, man. Tiara.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So thank y'all for joining, man. Just sit back. And enjoy the topics. If you do have a comment, I'm sorry.
Can't forget about D Shields in the building.
Yes, Coach D Shields. What's up, D Shields? Appreciate you coming out. Hey, listen, if y'all have any comments or questions, please do not hesitate to leave them in the chat, and we'll definitely try to get to them and maybe have some dialogue over the questions. So salute. Yeah, listen, this is all just our opinions. We're not experts. We're not claiming to be experts, but we do have experience in life. So if we are speaking from our perspectives, feel free to comment. Just don't attack us, because I believe everybody up here does fight back. So be careful.
Yeah,
so appreciate y'all. What's our first topic, fellas? I think we talked about it, but man, anybody got any one particular?
It is Men's Health Month. I mean,
Yes,
we
sir.
can definitely start with that because that's a very big topic. All of us are over 40. So, men's health is real big. Got to take care of ourselves the older we get.
Does anybody have any upcoming health appointments?
Man, listen, as a military vet, I have them every week. Say less,
Okay.
man. You know how that goes. That continue. You've been in that. It happens, man.
For
I'm gonna
sure.
take mine. I gotta take mine before eye doctor, dentist, and medical overhaul just before I go on the cruise because I want to make sure I come back with nothing I didn't leave with. So but like I said, every man I believe should be conscious, even if there's nothing wrong. Just go say hi because you just never know.
Yeah, that is true. Hey, coach, you
For
had
sure.
that. What's that acronym you had? You want to use that?
The pies.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
so really quick, so we don't want to spend too much time on that, right? So when we're gonna
What,
start, we're gonna
pies?
do a pie chart, right? So
Pies.
again, it's PIES. The P stands for physical. How do you feel physically? I, intellectually. Am I smarter? I'm a little slow, a little dumb, however you in that space at that time. Emotionally, I feel nonchalant, I'm relaxed, I'm laid back. Spiritually, what are you connected to? The higher power, a family, friend, a loved one, things like that. And I'll just give an example. So I'm going to check in with my past. Physically, like I already explained, I'm a veteran also. I got some neck issues, some knee issues, some back issues. So I'm dealing with that. Had an appointment today virtually. So that went so, they just do checkups on you. Intellectually, I don't know how to take it because I'm reading different things outside of YouTube, and I'm looking to try to elevate. But most of the stuff I run into is sort of just to either separate or bring each other down. So I'm just torn in between that. Emotionally, I'm a little anxious. I'm a little anxious because the tariffs are getting ready to kick in, and me and my wife are looking to purchase some things, and we're trying to fit it in before those tariffs kick in, and you know what I'm saying, so we can get more for our buck. And spiritually, man, I'm connected to this group right here. I've been looking forward to it for the last week, so my attention is here, focused on her, you guys. So, you know what I'm saying, let's rock out. And with that, I'm done.
From
Salute, salute.
that
I
perspective.
like that.
Oh, go ahead, brother. You got it. You next.
P is what? Physically?
Yes, sir.
Physically, I feel good. I started going back to the gym,
Okay.
the basketball court, working out, playing some ball here and there, trying to play with these young 20, 25-year-olds. It's tough, but I'm just trying to get my win back, trying to, keep myself healthy. Me working in a hospital, I see a lot of older men coming there looking bad, and they're about the same age as me. So I'm like, yeah, I don't want to fall into that trap. So physically, I feel good. Intellectually, man, I can have a conversation with the best. I do my little puzzle books to keep my mind sharp. I watch documentaries here and there. I feel good. Emotionally, I'm drained. My job drains me every day. I'm dealing with psych patients, detox patients, people in the emergency room. It's crazy, but I make it through every day. Spiritually, I just thank God every day.
For sure, man.
And I just want to touch on what you just said about when it comes down to health, right? And guys that younger looking worse, looking bad than, um, health is a broad spectrum of what you eat, what you drink, moderation. I know a lot of people think because they're grown, they can do what they want to do. But moderation is a big part of your grownness.
Yes.
Knowing
Yes.
when to dilute all that sugar, rather it's too much bread, sandwiches, knowing what pork is going to do, and even medications that you may
Yeah.
take. There's a lot of different
Carl,
spectrums to cover when it comes down to health.
I don't want to cut you off, but I want
Oh,
to be able to spend more time on that, right? So
okay.
let's do your check-in, and then we can circle back to that so
Sure.
you can sort of give a better explanation.
Okay. Well, that's what I was going to do. Right.
Oh, so that's your check-in?
Well, well, when you say check-in, what am I?
You just implying with these this acronym here. So your physical, how do you feel physically?
Physically, I'm very much in the best shape that I can ever be so far. I mean, I'm still the same as 10 years ago. Um, what's the other one? Run it down.
Intellectually?
Intellectually, I'm always willing to learn. So I'm always reading, I'm always absorbing.
Cool. Emotionally?
Emotionally, it's a roller coaster because
Mm,
regardless of what I feel, think, or want, I still have responsibilities that kind of take a over priority than myself. So
okay.
I gotta take the loss sometimes.
Okay, cool. And spiritually, what are you connected to spiritually?
Spiritually is probably the only thing that got me insanity right now.
Okay,
I think that's the only foundation I have left to keep me, you
To be
know,
grounded.
yeah,
Good
cool.
man.
So you're in? That's your check-in?
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
cool. All right.
I mean, I jump in here. Physically, of course, like Coach said, the veteran thing. I mean, they keep us where we need to be if you follow your appointments and do what you're supposed to do. The older you get, the injuries and the things catch up with you. Intellectually, man, I'm in the process about to defend my dissertation, so that has all my intellectual capacity to the brim. Um, Emotionally, man, like Carl said, for us men, it's a roller coaster because we have to we have to go through a lot of things on a day to day basis every day. You know, trying to be a better man or be stagnant. And spiritually, I found that for the past month and a half, I've been actually praying in the morning and praying before I go to bed. So I'm back to that faith that's grounding me, and I'm
For
in.
sure, man. For sure, man. That was man, listen, that was a beautiful check-in, man, for sure.
Yeah, memory is something. You ever forgot things?
We got one more man to check in and we'll be ready to move on. He over at working.
Physically, I'm doing great. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear
Yes.
you, brother.
What do you mean by you doing great?
Can y'all hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we hear you.
You might have a
Just I
delay,
just
but
had
we can
my
hear you.
I just had my yearly physical.
Okay.
Yeah, I just had my yearly physical. I'm doing great. It's intellectually nothing's changed so far. Just reading a lot more. That's all. Like my last
For
book I
sure.
read was Art of War.
Hmm.
Emotionally, I'm doing all right. I'm always me. So I could be up one day, down the next. It's still going. The outcome of my day is still not going to change. Spiritually, I do take I take my little 30 minutes a day to pray and meditate. So to keep myself together, so I know how to control my emotions and be intellectual on that level.
Cool, man. Hey, man, again, man, those are great check-ins, man. It's your first time, man. It's something that's usually used with young men who may be going through all types of situations in their life, but it's just to give them a sense of that we all are going through some things and we all have some things in common, whether we speak it or not, and we can just help each other push through because you may have some suggestions on some things that you could give me and vice versa. So that's part of why the check-in is uh, a part of the process. So yeah, man. So anybody, you picked out a topic yet that we want to start with first? Carl, hold up, Carl. Let's circle back to Carl because Carl, you was expanding
I was
on
about to
part
say
of
for
that
self stuff. Yeah.
man's health, man. So just give us some specifics of you think men should be able to address initially, especially when you
Well,
start getting into them 40s.
well, with men's health, it actually starts in your 20s because that's the start of your conditioning. Um, Longevity, long term thinking. So, what you eat, what you drink, moderation, how much of it? I know we've seen guys out here smoke cigars every day for 40 years and they live healthy and long lives. And then you got other guys that caught cancer by 30 and these guys ain't even smoking cigarettes. So it's not an absolute, but we have to take this moderation a little bit more serious because, like I said, you don't feel nothing wrong. And but go anyway. Like Brother D said about going for the yearly. Hey, it's nothing wrong with going to see your doctor 3, 4 times a year just to make sure, especially if you travel. You understand? Before, after, it just keeping up with it, just like your dentist appointment. I'm not going to speak about how many guys, got that yuck mouth. Again, dentist, your medical, I know guys have this issue about checking their prostate in their 40. Nigga, go get that shit checked. It's so many different avenues, but nothing is so absolute, but at least take some responsibility and stock in yourself and don't wait till the last minute. That's what I'm saying.
For sure, man. Anybody want to add anything else, man, before we get into it?
To add to that, that prostate exam, I went to my doctor 2 months ago, and I found out you can do the exam through feces now.
Yes.
It's in your kit. It sounds horrible. It's in your kit.
It's not even.
You take a little dump or whatever, and you put it in a little, they give you a little box, and you send it back to them, and they examine it. But you got to do that. I think that's what, every 2 years, 3 years. But the other one is the regular prostate is like what, every 6, so 5 to 6 or something like that.
So, yeah, sometimes 10 years. Yeah,
Yeah,
it depends on your system.
I'm trying to figure out. I mean, I don't want to have to go there and nobody put no fingers nowhere. So I'm thinking about ordering the kit.
I've had it done already. I went. They put me to sleep. I woke up. It was done.
Yeah, that's how it is. But here's the thing that I like about going in is that when when they go check it out, if there's anything that they see that could be an issue later, they zap it on out right then. That's the difference. So think about it. Sleep on it.
I mean, we talk about women with their pH balance.
I was about to say that. Yeah.
And men, like I said, I don't know how hard it is to explain in a very clean way, but look at the color of your crap. Look at how strong yellow or how hard or, because all of this play a part in giving you indication there might be something wrong or, because remember, you're exchanging fluids with a woman. So all of this plays a part. If you don't want your kids to come out with 3 toes and 1 arm or whatever, I mean, we got to take care of ourselves, man.
3 toes and 1 arm.
Hey, Carl. It's funny you said that because if you look at the reality of life, we are just, let me use the term in air quotations, regular men. But look at people like Chadwick Boseman. Look at him at his young age. I mean, what did he die from? Prostate cancer. I mean, a lot of those things, if you don't get checked, it's a valuable commodity when you're young versus when you're older, man. And a coach with that, I think, I mean, if nobody else got anything, we can tap into that same thing because a lot of men don't get that thing done because of pride and ego.
Man, you must have been reading my mind because I was going to say that's a perfect topic about our pride. Our pride. Let's talk about our pride when it comes to us. Our pride.
Oh, that's my biggest downfall, my pride.
Okay, you want to just explain a little bit about that?
It took me so long to actually want to go to a doctor and get checked out. For years, I've had stomach issues. I found out I have IBS. I'm allergic to things I didn't even know I was allergic to. And having stomach issues because of it. But I lucked out because I was doing security for a gentleman, and he was a doctor. He is now my primary doctor. So I can call him anytime. Yo, doc, listen, something wrong. I don't feel right. yo, listen, come see me on your day off. Come see me tomorrow. We get it taken care of. So I lucked out. But, I try to tell some of these younger, even my younger brothers, yo, start getting checked out now. Because anything can happen. Brothers is catching heart attacks and strokes under 40.
It's sad when guys don't even know their own blood type.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I really like to piggyback with y'all real quick that, I appreciate all the inputs because it goes to what we as men, like you said, pride and ego. Listen, man, you're dealing with a chick. She doesn't know what medication you're allergic to or what you should be on. She don't even know what's wrong with you. How is she to save your life if you're not giving her anything to work with? Especially if you're dating a chick that's a nurse.
Nah, hold up. You gotta look at it a different way now. It depends on if you really dating the chick or if she's just somebody you jumping off with.
Well, even if you're jumping off, I'm gonna clear this up real quick. Have anybody been with somebody that has seizures and they didn't tell you?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So even if you're just jumping off, if this person goes
Never
into
see
an
it.
asthma attack or whatever,
Mhm.
you may panic or you may not. But this pride and ego with men is, oh, that's gay. I ain't going in there. Or is it because you fear that something might be wrong and you don't want to know? There's so many nuance with this. But I rather know. And I rather have somebody that I can tell it to and say, yo, man, I can't take this. I'm allergic to milk or this and that, whatever. I'd rather have that security than not say anything, not know anything, and running around talking about, come here, I want some.
Mhm.
I'm cross-contaminating like a motherfucker. I'm just saying.
True. But then you got a person like me that dealt with people that had seizures before or asthma attacks, and you would sit there, you know exactly what to do or how to handle it. And be just all the main point of like when somebody does have a seizure, you remain calm and handle everything.
Yes. I agree with everything everybody said, but this is one thing I would also recommend for anybody going into a new dating situation or where you say, okay, I'm going to sort of commit to this person. Ask those questions about health. I don't think people
Yeah.
ask questions about health. What health am I dealing with? What health did my mama deal with? Did my daddy deal with? Because if I'm going to start a family, I'm serious. I don't need no slow gene in my family.
Hey,
I'm not.
That
I
is
mean,
fact.
I would love my baby all the same, but we see the stress it brings when you have a child that's created with some bad gene mixing, and we're trying to deal with that. So yes,
all you're
ask
doing
questions
is
about your partner's health, your
all you're
loved
doing
one's
is
health.
all you're doing is pulling out a phone saying, look, I don't have no STD. Okay, let's go. It's more than that. Way
Yeah.
more than that.
You know what's funny, Carl? Look at it this way: how many people you think do that? Actually, before they that pride in their ego to pull out their phone, to walk around with your updated STD exams, things like that. How many people even in the chat can say they have done that?
That's true.
I mean, you got to look at it from that perspective. That's where the pride
Yep.
versus the ego comes from. Because at the end of the day, I mean, that STD and the HIV rate going up hard.
For sure, man. Listen, man, let's call out these super chats, man. We got Soul, man. Thank you for the $6.99. Appreciate you. And I think we had one more. I don't know. I ain't
That
seen it.
Nikki
Hold on, let me
podcast.
see.
Nikki podcast.
Salute to Pretty Pink. Yeah, Nikki Podcast. Everybody sends super chats. Listen, like I said, man, we just here and we're just going to chop it up. If you can take anything that we say with you, just take the little nuggets and put it in your tool belt, and hopefully you can pass it on. If it doesn't apply to you today, maybe you can use it in a year or two, 5 years down the road. Just saying.
True.
Anything else? Anybody? Oh, go ahead, brother. Keep going.
No, I was just saying from that. I mean, I think we done crushed the ice. You want to dig a little deeper, fellas? What y'all do? What y'all want to do?
It's up to y'all, man. We all listen. Let's get back to this ego thing. That's what I want to get back
Yeah,
to.
I'm ready.
This ego, you know what I'm saying?
I'm ready to go in on that.
Hours or the majority.
Ours, our ego, or
Our
egos that
ego,
you see. So I'll say my ego, and then I'm gonna identify a toxic ego that I've experienced. Right. So me, I think I can do everything. I'm gonna climb up on the roof. I'm gonna go up under, get down. I'm gonna do a lot of the dirty work that my wife, she can't even. I'll let her if I'm putting something together, I'll let her put her 3 screws in. She put her little 3 screws in, use the little power drill. She feel liberated. Okay, cool, you got that. But me, I'm like, no directions. I can put it together. Let me see the picture. 99% of the time, I'm good. I can put it together, no problem. I got all the tools needed, right? But now that I'm getting older, I don't believe I'm getting older. So I'm still trying to climb the ladder 15 feet high. You know what I'm saying? I'm still trying to pick up the bucket that weighs 80 pounds and shit, showing off. But when I'm done, I need Epsom salt baths and my feet rubbed and my shoulder rubbed. So in my mind, I'm young, but obviously I'm getting older. So that's part of my ego.
Yo, coach. To back that up, I changed professions. I was a cable tech for Optimum. I say about 3 years ago. Man, climbing them ladders, running wire through people's houses, and doing all that. I said, man, I can't do this shit anymore. I had to change my whole career path. I said, nah, this is not working for me. And I understand exactly what you mean. Your body just can't do what it used to do.
Mm-hmm.
This is ego and pride for real, man.
See, being a fellow cable tech like Daryl, I stopped early. I don't know what you was thinking.
Like my ego said, hell no.
My ego said, nah, bro, we ain't doing this for another 10 years. I stopped real early. So I was like, I did it for what, 2-3 years. I was like, nah, I'm good. So I understand.
Now that's psychological now, because now you're trying to trick your own self, a lot of your own self, that you still think you got it when you don't. Damn well you can. And you know what they say, how long does it take you to stand up from a couch?
Cool.
You understand? But
no, I can say right now, I'll bet you all 5 of us sit here and be like, wait.
Do you want to move? I'm gonna turn my camera off before I get up.
But I'm gonna be honest with y'all. In privacy, I try to practice how to get up fast, because in the case of emergency, you might have to. You don't have time for that. Oh, wait a minute. Nigga, you better get up quick. I have to say this too, when y'all talk about pride and ego. How many guys have male doctors versus female doctors? Because can you imagine a guy being scared to get a prostate check and it's a female doctor? A bad black or Spanish female. Come on.
I might.
That is true. I'm not gonna hold you, Carl.
Hold on, we got a story.
So it was really, I just like because all her whole crew was female. So the whole thing was, all right, you got to do this. And all I know, next thing I know, I'm on my side, and the anesthesiologist was like, all right, you're going to go to sleep. I say, what? Next thing I know, I'm in the recovery.
Yeah. That's how
you don't know what happened.
Yeah. He's right, because when you go up under, when they go put you in those procedures, it's a lot of females doing that work, right? So they all around you, everybody touching you and your leg and your shoulder, and they all nice to you.
So let's take that whole thing about taking blood. Something as simple as that. You got to put your man face on, because
please.
Because you don't want no female to see you bitching out.
God, taking blood? Who's up there Winston? Hold up. Does anybody have a problem getting blood drawn?
I don't. I got veins, bro. I could do it, but
I'm still there. Like, look, I tell them straight up, I am deathly afraid of needles.
Me too, man. Yeah, you're right.
I'm gotta do. I look the other way, take a deep breath, and like, all right,
that's me all day.
I think the biggest issue though is I think where our ego comes in is therapy.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, I didn't have a problem with that. That for me,
I think a lot of our brothers have a problem with that. Yeah. So I'll give you a perfect example. I use myself where in my younger days, like even now as a vet coach, they ask your preference of doctors. All my doctors are female.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I will agree with. That's why I said, Carl, I agree with you. All my doctors. I'm sorry that
I alternate.
Nah, for me, my ego dies when I can't control it. So I put myself in environments where I can control my ego. You know, where it's needed. When I was younger now, ain't nobody. We all y'all in this room. Let's go outside and run a race. Let's go out. You know who we get. But the older you get, your ego matures.
Yes.
Because you got to save it. You don't have that. You don't have that much left of ego now. Think about it. The older you get, let's be realistic. Once you get over 40, what you gonna prove?
I got nothing to prove.
I'm a strongly believer that the only time a man doesn't have an ego is when he's in a dentist chair and they got to take that wisdom tooth out, because they got to take that long needle and numb that thing. Yo, I don't care how big, strong, or tough, bro, that long needle going in there, they got to numb it like 2-3 times, depending on, bro. You see your
Depending
ego
on your
now.
resistance. Your tolerance level is high when you go in
The
there.
top and the
Bro,
bottom on both sides.
You got a high tolerance level. I got a high tolerance level, but I just, like I said, it come down to getting the needle.
Yeah. Hey man, you're not by yourself, brother. I passed damn near pass out.
I'm a little girl, right? Nope.
Hey,
No, listen, we got to go on 3. That's all I'm saying, because I have a automatic reflex problem. It touched me. What the? So we got to go on 3. Okay, I'm gonna breathe in. I can take it, but go on.
So I got a question for y'all. I think, Coach, I think you're the only married person up here.
Could be. Yeah, if anybody.
So
sorry, ladies. You can't get none of this ham over here.
Hey, so from that perspective, I had a conversation the other day, and somebody told me that he was 48, I think about 49. He says his wife has his ego in her handbag.
Wow.
Ooh.
How do you guys feel about that conversation?
You said his wife has what?
Has his ego in her handbag.
Oh, that's deep.
I can see that.
In a relationship or marriage, how do you feel about that?
Well, it depends. Is your wife, if your wife is worth it, and also it depends on the man that you become to become a husband. You have to look at it that way, because as a man, you get to a point. It's a moment in your life where you got to put that ego and that pride aside for the right woman.
She got the dog whistle in her bag to make you calm down.
So it's like if she's the right woman for him, then yeah, she got that. But if it's random or somebody that he's just dating and keep throwing it out there like that, hey, that's on him.
Shut the hell up! No, I'm just.
Okay, so I'll say this: between 2001 and 2013 was probably the height of my in the streets career, right? And I say it facetiously, right? So because remember when Tiger Woods got exposed? What was that? 2010. I think I was sort of either I was matching his flow or just one below, right? And I thought what my brother just said. If I wasn't really feeling them, I didn't give them too much time, too much energy, give them too much access, because I was moving according to how they move. But the ones that so in the midst of all this, here comes my wife. I was having too much fun. But the way she came at me, it was like she put all her Halloween candy on the table. So it wasn't about, and I asked her 1,000 questions. I meet a woman. I wanted to know, because if I ask you a question and you don't answer it, that's my answer also. Because it should be nothing that should be avoided.
You was going through a serious transition at that moment, huh?
Yeah, man, because I was a single brother. I had my own shit. I'm making good little money. I made some nice investments. I was pulling up. I'm in good shape. My head was shining. I was smelling good. They couldn't stay off the hammer. But anyway, just in that space. So when I met her, I was like, man, I was trying to fit 8 women into one, and she came with a whole different perspective, and she was just allowing me into her space and her her life, so to speak, right? And I never thought that from that day then to this day now that we've been able to grow as much as we have. Because me and my wife can sit and joke on each other and talk about each other for 2-3 hours. You know, we'll laugh at each other's little, crazy stuff. It's just weird energy to me and but when we out, people are always making reference to, y'all just seem like y'all just met and so happy. Now we've been together for a while, you know what I'm saying? But we don't take it. I guess all our energy is focused on making sure we're okay. And I don't mind sort of giving her certain parts of me, outside of physical. I talk about being better emotionally, and she gives me the same thing. But it depends. Again, for a wife, yeah. For a girlfriend, somebody because most men already calculated in their head how long she gonna be around. Because you done seen her with her smelly, her little musty feet. You done seen something that you ain't vibe
Good
with.
and the bad. Yep.
I'm just being facetious when I say that. Not saying it, but just so we know. But when you get to that space, man, that's why the questions are important. Just don't leave no stone unturned today. Ask them for them health reports. You know what I'm saying? All of that. So, yeah, I don't know about the ego thing, but I don't know.
I got to inject because I want to respond to what 40 is saying. Erectile dysfunction is not just old men. It starts in your 30s.
Yeah.
And for all the guys out there that's smoking, drinking, not seeing their doctor, eating all that junk food and all that, you're the reason why these women are not satisfied because you are one of those guys with the erectile dysfunction. And you're blaming the girl talking about she got dry ass shit or this, that. No, you don't take care of yourself because you can't get it up. So that's another thing about ego and pride, not realizing that you're the problem, not the girl. Not the girl.
But you know what's funny, Carl? You say that, right? But you say that. Let's be realistic. A young man at the age of 30 going on up, what does he know about male accountability?
Well, I don't know. Okay, I'm not going to touch on the male accountability at an age group because that's very, subjective. But I can say this though. If you overfucked yourself from 12 to 30, no wonder you out of gas.
Time out, Carl. No, that's not the reason gas, Carl. That's not the reason they have gas,
no
brother.
Discipline today. Okay, I get it.
Come back, Carl. Leave him alone, brother.
But that's not the reason they out of gas. Because a lot of brothers.
I did say you're drinking, you're eating, there's so many contributing factors. But on top of that, you think you're gonna run a marathon here. By 30, you are out of gas. And and I'm saying this because I'm trying to be nice about it. Ladies know when a guy only want to sleep with her sideways. You understand what I'm saying?
Sideways.
Just lay down and sideways.
Look at the TV.
You're not standing up. You can't do push-ups no more. Because I used to tell women, if a dude can't do 50 push-ups, he ain't good in the bedroom because the stamina's not there. He can't, So I'm just saying this because.
Hold on.
Come
on, guys.
You equating push-ups to punching.
Yeah, that's similar.
Listen. I do 100 push-ups every morning for the last 20-some years.
Hold on, Carl. You go straight in 100 push-ups?
Yeah.
Give me 100 in, goddamn it.
By the time you get about 25, 30, you like, all right, hold on, let me just.
I'm just saying is that
it's different from 100, bro.
Listen, I watch and see the younger generation, and from what I'm getting is like some of them can be rabbits because they're younger, but then when they get into that 30, 40, I see guys younger than me, they can't even do 50 push-ups. they don't mind smoking and drinking and carrying on, but and eating and they're not
So, bro,
taking care of themselves.
it's a different mindset from push up to.
No, well, push-ups have to deal with breathing and stamina. Let's be real.
So does hunching.
Hey, listen. When you get older, man, that you say hunching. I don't know. The older you get, if that's what you're doing, brother. I think we've graduated a little bit into a slow pace, depending on who you're with.
A little bit.
You're not going to project that onto me because I know for a fact.
Carl's like, not me.
Not me. I take pride, and I say this never offensive, but I always used to say I am more conscious about my stomach hanging over. Hell no, there's no excuse for that. I don't have a fupa. I'm not supposed to have a fupa. There's no reason for me to have this hanging up. No.
You ain't got no fupa.
No. Male fupa. No.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah, I used to have a conscience like that too, man. When I was young, I said I always got to be able to look down and see my man. Yeah, I got to stay connected. I got to always keep a vigilant, and I would always keep my weight down.
Because just imagine every time you get with a chick, you need 3 hands.
What? 3 hands?
One to hold, because you got to move it out the way. This is too much. Anyway, I just want to get back.
You go hold on, brother.
Take a water break, Carl, man. Take a water break, man. You need 3 hands.
In all reality, it's just that when it comes to men taking care of themselves, eat right, and so forth, stamina is very much important to your breathing, your lungs, your longevity. All of that is connected. And if you don't, even though I was making fun of it, but these are the things that happen when you don't. Because there's a lot of guys that I swear you cannot run more than 3 blocks. I know you're gonna be tired.
They don't want none of this right here. No.
3 blocks, 3 New York City blocks. You're tired.
Nah, you can't do blocks.
You can't use New York City as a measuring.
I'm just giving you an example.
New York blocks are
Listen,
kind of long.
I'm just giving you an example. If you cannot walk, listen, if you cannot walk 3 New York City blocks or around an average track, how the hell you saying you laying it down in the bedroom, bro? Your stamina, your breathing, your lungs. No.
You said run. I could walk it. I could jog it. But a full run?
Yo. Your
I ain't do
woman
a
just.
full run in about a year. A full blown out run?
I'm gonna make the connection. Let me make this connection.
Unless I have to, then yeah, but
your woman just got assaulted or got robbed. You have to run after the dude, protect her. How you gonna do it?
Okay. Man, he got on the red shirt and a black skull cap.
No.
That goes back to ego versus pride, though. Ego.
There you go. See, say it again.
Elevated ego versus pride, though. That ego is gonna make you want to jump up and defend the situation. Pride is gonna make you think correctly.
Yeah,
pride is gonna put you in that box where you're gonna make you.
I'm gonna be the dude that's standing right there, taking my foot out as soon as you take off.
I'm like you, Just D. I'm gonna trip your ass up. Just D, are you still there, Daryl? Daryl, are you still there?
Y'all being lazy now. I said protect. That's part of protection.
Hey, that's protection.
That's protection, Carl. Listen,
you go home. You go home trying to protect somebody else.
That's the goal, Carl.
Yo, run, I'm gonna get you, bro.
Carl, listen, and this is the goal. And this is okay. So what we're speaking about, this is why it's important to at least, and I'll say this for a single man, yes, you should be in some of the best shape according to your age. Really quick example, when I was working in the high schools, right? All male high school, every Thursday we had a what is it called? Assembly every Thursday, because it was sort of like a half day working. Every Thursday I used to challenge the guys. I would always give $10 for anybody that can beat me in push-ups. Every Thursday, I stopped at 50. Every Thursday, nobody could do more than 50. We're talking about D1 scholarship football players could not do 50 push-ups. I've been doing 50 push-ups since I was 14 years old.
Pretty in pink.
At a minimum,
That's
my
mandatory.
height was in the military is like 125 in one set, 2 minutes. So
Coach, have you seen the majority of these gym teachers today? Come on,
yes.
bro.
Well, they got fupas and lupus back there.
Come on.
You know, so my man, you jumped off, but you didn't respond. You want to give your input on it? What's that? That's that Daryl?
Yeah.
You have anything on the topic?
No, I mean, I had to take care of some business real quick. So I really didn't hear for a couple of seconds.
Okay. Carl, you
Say
want to
less,
fill
say
him
less.
in?
I make sense.
No.
Your knees way down a little bit. We trying to get up.
Listen,
I
what
thought you
is
was
your
doing push-ups.
Daryl, let me ask you something.
There we go.
Provide and protect. Do you believe in men having fupas?
No.
Hold on. Before you
Wait,
go
wait,
there,
wait.
Hold
hold on,
Hold
just
on, let me finish. Let
Well,
me finish.
Carl, define your few.
what does a man's body type have to do with
define
him
fupa.
providing protection?
Over here, both of y'all talking. Okay, so Daryl, you gonna answer that question, but
Okay, I'm answering. What does a man's body type have to do with him providing and protecting?
there you go. That's a good question right there.
And it's a
I know
simple.
some dudes that's, I say 6 feet, 280, 300, but can move.
Yeah.
They can float.
I'm not saying they can't. I mean, we saw a lot of guys that size move. I'm not saying that it's absolute, but that's not something that we should advertise as for all men, because remember, again, it's going to come a time where you may be called upon, and not all men can move. You have to take care of your health, isn't it? A parent, we have to take care of health. So your stomach hanging over your shit because you haven't seen it in 3 years. You can't go more than 3-4 blocks. You eating and drinking and carrying on and not even seeing your doctor. All of this is contributing, bro. You think you're the man in the bedroom, but bruh, you only fuck sideways.
But all right, but hold
Come
on.
on.
Let me jump in. Hold on for a second. Carl, what do you think the majority of at our age? Do you think that women are looking for the six pack, or do you think what do you think they're attracted to? Is it a physical or mental, emotional, more mindset they're attracted to?
I've heard women say that they like that Biggie Smalls look, and I'm not saying men should have a 6-pack, 4-pack, or 8-pack. I'm talking about health, being able to breathe, run, respond, all of this. Just because you get older does not mean that you have to conform to your body. You can build your body.
For sure.
Yeah.
All
Okay.
right. You could be 60
Agreed.
years old and still knocking niggas out in their 30s and fucking like you was when you was in your 30s. But that depends on the individual male building, maintaining, like I said earlier, moderation. You don't slack off because you're getting older, and that's the going thing. Oh, you over 55, so yeah, nobody's No, you over 55, you can still do shit after your 30, like you was in your 30. You
Yes,
make
sir.
that choice.
Yes, sir.
But so like Shanita said in the comments, that also
Mhm.
depends on the woman's lifestyle too.
Yes.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well,
Yes.
who controls the lifestyle?
In the house, I mean,
No,
if she's
the individual controls their
Yeah, the
lifestyle, right?
individual, for
So
sure.
if the man is sitting there saying, damn, it's taking me a long time to get off this couch, or I used to do 50 push-ups, nigga, then do something about it.
well, hold up. In a marriage or in a relationship, if she's saying she likes that, the average man is not gonna move. He's gonna be content.
Yeah.
So let's look at it this way. Here's a couple, boyfriend, girlfriend, marriage, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Anthony Anderson. You wake up one day and notice your man is 60 pounds lighter. What you gonna do? Divorce him, or you gonna keep on accepting him as he is? This is his health he's worrying about.
That's different.
Why is it? Every time you say it's different, it's an excuse.
All right, because Anthony Anderson had type 2 diabetes. So he knew he had to get rid of that weight to be able to survive, basically.
You just made my point, dog. That's why I
But
said
then either way,
individual.
if his wife was with him when he's big, she's gonna be with him when he's little.
Well, I think they divorced now, so
Yeah, they divorced now.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, they divorced
at
now.
least he can still get more because he, like I said, it's just about your health is the priority, right? Let's not miss the mark. Your health, individual, male, your health is your priority. What they
yes.
say, without your health, you can't make wealth. So
Mhm.
you're sitting there, you can accept your stomach hanging over your shit. Great. You can lay there and smash sideways. You know you can't do more than 3 blocks. You make the choice. Do you want to do better or not?
Yeah, exactly.
Because ain't nothing worse to a guy than a 30-year-old whipping your ass when
Okay, so
we can whip their ass.
so flip that, Carl. Flip that. Let's. All right, we know as men, our egos you can take it behind the gym. You're gonna do what you do. Let's go about her choices in women. How about that foop in a woman? How about that? How about when you look at a woman, how would you encourage her to live that lifestyle with you to get there? Because I think a lot of us, we lose that context of that when we get in a relationship.
You're talking about Ukraine versus United States. A woman fupa has nothing to do or comparison to a male. Why? Because female go through whole different body changes than men. We don't have an excuse. We don't get pregnant. We have menstrual cycles, but not to the point where we get bloated and all that. We don't have to go through what women go through. So there's no reason or excuse for us to be walking around proud, not to see our manhood for how long, because we don't want to take care of ourselves.
Mm.
But it's the same context of attraction, though, right? Would you allow your wife or your girl to have a fupa just based off of natural?
What the?
You goddamn right. Yes.
She has
Yes,
she
I
has
would.
2, 3, 4 kids. What am I logically trying to compare what I can control versus what she can't control? She had 2, 3, 4 kids.
Mm.
She has menstrual cycles every month. Come on, dog.
Yeah. And those
We ain't gonna talk about fibroids. Come on. Come on. What male you ever heard said, yo, man, I got fibroids. That's why I haven't seen my dick in 3 years. You crazy?
First of all, why are you talking to me about that?
Exactly. No, but I'm just saying, it's
First of all.
not, I'm just talking about realistically, we have to take into consideration that as men, we cannot make excuses for failure. We have to improve ourselves constantly, moderation, and be disciplined at the same time.
That's a part of
Otherwise, that girl that you fucking is gonna do a GoFundMe for your black ass because you didn't take care of yourself, bro.
that is a part of leadership too. I mean, that's a part of that leadership.
yes.
That's a part of that
That's all I'm
Yes.
saying, bro.
So that's a great segment into this, right? We understand today that it's part of leadership, but in civilization, a lot of leadership is learned. It's being groomed by those that should be teaching you how to be the best you. And typically, what is a lot of times it seems to be absent, but it's there, that a lot of, especially young men, don't get that leadership grooming from the person who's by default should be leading them the most, and that's a father.
That's a big mess.
Because
Well,
fathers build confidence in their sons. I don't think nobody on here, if they had a son 10 or 12 years old with us, you come home and you see your son and your wife's brassiere and dresses, and you be like, that's my boy. No, you'd be like, what the fuck going on up in here? And then anybody who's promoting that, you'll probably cuss them out and lose them as a family member or a friend. That's just my understanding. So it seems like leadership is, is just innate. All of us lead in some capacity, but to be able to understand who you are because you can't lead nobody if you don't know who you are. And to
True.
build on that confidence throughout your life so you can understand which woman is good for you or not, make better decisions, you know what I'm saying, on the type of people you hang around, friends that, you know, and just even taking care of your body. Because a lot of, you know, young men I stand today, don't they stand with those cheerleader feet? The guys with their feet split out like a little cheerleader.
Posture of man.
And they done gotten away from the I guess that big shoulder build. Now everybody's little baby shoulders,
The
little
posture of
skinny
man.
legs. You know, they stand back on their legs, how the women do, like the bow-legged women do when their knees stand back. And they only have calf muscles today. I'm sure all y'all had calves. Dudes today don't have calf muscles. That's always been something to me. Like, you ain't got no calf muscle. That means you ain't walking, you ain't running, you ain't jumping, you ain't getting no exercise.
That upper body is a brick. Boy, you hit them down there with that leg, they fall like a tree.
Yes, the
But
core.
that, like I said, everybody, and this is no shade to nobody. You do what you want to do, but we can't have his and her cankles. Okay, we just can't. You know,
So,
when you drink a lot of water, right? Let's go with some facts here. When you drink a lot
I
of
can
water,
do that.
it's only stored in 3 parts of the body, right?
Yes.
We have the midsection, we have the knees, and we have the ankles. That's your indication right there that you need to take better care of yourself.
Yes.
There's no circulation. So I'm only saying that because when you go to this is when I get a little comical, but it's serious. Anytime you go to a black person's pool party, you will see a whole bunch of unhealthy motherfuckers.
Mm-hmm.
And that should be your blueprint to say, like we do with everything else, I don't want to be like that. Then do something about it. You saw that guy walk around the pool party with his titties hanging larger than hers, and you know everybody can. You see it. Don't be like that. Do something about it. That's all I'm trying to promote.
well, so hey, I'm gonna piggyback off what Coach Frank said earlier about being taught. And I had there was a conversation that I was a part of earlier this week, and even today somebody sent it to me too. It says and it's a question for the masses. How do you think a man would be different if he was hugged more by his father?
I hug and kiss my godson every time I see him because I want him to understand love.
What you want to understand, Carl?
I want him to understand love. What it's like that it's not awkward because I give you a hug or I kiss you on your cheek. I want you to see love. Black men love. Come on.
Cool.
What does that look like?
Well, physically, I'm not afraid to tell you I love you. I'm not afraid to hug you. I don't care who's around. I'm not afraid to kiss that boy on the cheek. I want him to know that I got his back 24/7 and you can come to me about anything, anytime. That means, and I explained to both my god kids, that means I want to know everything before you even do it. When you're thinking about it, you're talking to me, not doing it and then letting me know after the fact.
Mm-hmm.
That's love. When you can talk to me before you do it.
But here's the caveat to that space, though. Prior to that space, guess what? Your child has to trust you.
Yeah, and also
a lot of young men don't get that because it's like, did any of y'all grow up with your father in the house?
All day.
It's a different life than your father living wherever he live at. When he's in the house, it's always a calm. It's always the volume don't go up over 5. It's always a level of peace that he brings, and the father sometimes he's gonna put that courage in you. So when you go outside, you know before you run home, you're gonna fight. you
But
ain't gonna just tuck your tail. You're gonna stand up to some of the adversities that you see, because a father pretty much is going to be giving you that encouragement. Now, you my son now, you carrying my seed now. Don't you be out here, letting nobody put them 1-2s on you.
But
But
coach, it's
most,
not limited. It's not as limited to just the man in the home. I'm agreeing with that. But all of us, have we ever been inside of a supermarket somewhere and a kid is acting up and they look dead at you in your face and all of a sudden they get quiet? We
Yeah,
all
yeah,
have that.
yeah,
So
yes,
we're not in that home. We don't even know this kid or the woman.
yes,
But they respond because just the male
yeah,
energy
that's
makes
true.
you say, oh shit, let me shut up.
Yes,
no,
Hey, listen, man.
Carl, I see where you coming from, because I've done it plenty, so I could just look at a kid and it's just like,
Mhm.
okay,
They
it's like
see that look. They
they
know,
see that
all right, let
look.
me come out.
It's like, oh, he like, and a lot of women see that look too, but oh, he's a dad. So it's like certain things. Like I'm raising 2 boys now,
It's
and
automatic.
it's automatic for me to see to just my son's 20 years old. I look at him to the left, and he gonna look at me right. So it's like,
Babies even do that. Babies cry more when they're around mothers than they do around
About
them
males.
because they just know. Yo, this is
yeah, they
energy,
just
man.
know.
Like,
yeah. Daryl, you want to respond? You want to respond, Daryl? Because we have a question in the chat, but do you want to respond?
A question in the chat for who? For me?
Just a general question. I just wanted you to respond to what we're talking about. Then I was going to ask the question based off the
Oh,
chat.
I mean, with my
What
son,
question are you talking about, Coach?
I don't have that
From
issue with my son. My son, I speak to him regularly and let him know, you can tell me anything. My son comes to me and tells me any and everything now. He had a point where he was scared, because he thought he was going to get in trouble for every little thing. Nah, you're not going to get in trouble. So let me know
okay,
what's going on. And, we've gotten to that understanding, but he's young. He's not. So little stuff, he's still going to be timid and not
yeah,
tell me. But the majority of stuff, we sit there and have conversations all the time.
yeah,
But see, here's the thing with that, Daryl, keep letting them know, yo, you can come to me about anything. I'm not going to judge. That's how I got it with all 4 of my kids. I'm gonna come to you straight up.
yeah.
before
Tell
y'all
me
get
what's
into
going on.
the question, because y'all just said something that triggered me. Do y'all all remember this been going on even before I was born? Every boy can't wait till he could take his dad. Okay? This is why
Yeah.
your motherfuckers gotta stay in shape. Because when your sons get big enough to knock you around, yo, bro,
Look.
remember, the fear of God lasted up until a certain point, and now you're like, yeah, I could take him now. Nah, you
Mm,
got to be in shape to, yo, bro, I don't care how old I get, I can still knock you down. So this is just a parallel to what he was saying. I just
for
said
Well,
that.
sure.
okay, I'll
Hey,
say
coach.
this. My son, my oldest son is 6'8".
6'8".
Yes,
I don't care how big they get. You
He
can
exactly.
still
still
can
take
bring
He
it
it.
down to
know.
size.
He know I don't care.
6'8".
He knows I don't care.
I got a
Hold on.
taser. I don't care.
But hold on, and that's the perspective, because if you teach them at a young age, you realize that the hug that I'm giving you as a father, the love I'm giving you, the teachings I'm giving you, that's permission
Yes,
Mhm.
and that's authority. So you
Mm-hmm.
already know that mentally and
yes,
emotionally.
Mm-hmm.
That when I do that, when I hug my son, that's permission for you to know that emotions and affection does matter. You can go
yes,
out, you
Yes.
can be that man, you can be that person. So
yes.
Yes.
if you teach
Mm-hmm.
them that, then that 6'8" gonna crumble in your arms,
He
bro. He
gonna
gonna be like,
crumble.
yeah, he gonna drive, he gonna save you.
Exactly.
You
Now
know
my
what I'm
youngest
saying?
son just hit 5'12". 5'12". He about to be
Now,
even
just
6 feet.
So let me ask this question though. Because
I was going to give a confession. My
hold
father
up,
wasn't.
Carl.
My father
Go
wasn't
ahead.
affectionate.
Okay,
He didn't believe in that hug and all that shit. But I do.
okay.
Mm.
You're right.
But we was
I,
close.
I shared that similar experience, but I never questioned. I never questioned the love of my father though.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. We
You
was.
know what I'm saying? Today it seems a little different because a lot of it's like I said, when you grow up and you see him every day and you smelling his
Mhm.
damn farts and shit and his trying on his t-shirts and
And he
shit,
talking
that shit do something.
shit to you, telling you crazy jokes.
Yeah, you like telling you stories like, man, you too old for that. You know what I'm
Boy,
saying? It
bring me
just
a roll of toilet paper in the bathroom. God damn
yeah,
it.
I've been through all that. But here's the question though. This is an interesting question that Super Gang asked. He said, if your fathers are subservient, then what?
I don't know
If
what
you
that's
have a
like.
subservient father, y'all know any man that's subservient?
I'll say like this: my only person that could really check my father was my mother.
Pretty much.
That was it. That was it.
Ain't
My
nobody
mother
check
couldn't.
down.
My mother
so
couldn't check my father at all.
No, I mean like check him, like calm him down.
calm him down, bring him down to a
Yeah,
level.
No,
bring him
my
down.
mother couldn't do that
And
shit.
then like if he's in, so my pops he stuttered when he got really angry.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I'm a middle child, so I already knew. I took notes. Nope, nah, bro.
Salute to the middle children, baby.
So I was like, all right, bet. But whenever he can talk to my mother, like my mother was upset, he could just talk to us. It's like regular, and she'll calm down.
Yeah.
And like for him, it's like she got to really like look at him like, look, you bugging out, calm down. So like the subservient, it was like with my parents, it was just like it was even on the playing field. You battle one, you battling both, basically.
So to piggyback off that, that's where I was going to answer that question, Coach. If that's a relationship, I don't know if it's a single father versus the question how it was worded based off what dynamic. But if it's a relationship and the father's subservient, then you got to realize that's a duality where he just said that the mother will actually pick up a role or pick up certain things and confront the father with that behind closed doors. Hey, you're a little bit too lax, because you gotta remember that you don't need to dominate as a father. You don't need to dominate. You just need to stand firm because you're looking at legacy. So the mother, in that portion, the nurturing portion of her would also say, hey, boo, I mean, you're a little bit lax. You're getting a little bit lazy with the boys now. They're getting away with a little bit too much, blah, 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 blah.
I beg to differ now.
I'm just saying.
No, what I'm saying, what you're saying is true though, right? But as we come into this modern mentality.
Oh, well, sorry.
See what I'm saying? This modern mentality is don't yell at him. Don't be too hard on him.
Sorry.
And then next thing you know, y'all son's walking around with pink fingernail polish on and a perm. Now you be his daddy. So
I've always been. My grandmother always told my mother that if you don't get on him now, don't get on him when he's in jail.
I don't think guys today, since you mentioned modern, I don't think men today even discipline children anymore. I'm saying in the majority, not in isolation, in the majority. Because if you really look around, especially the hood, women will discipline the shit out of kids.
But what's discipline, Carl? What's discipline?
It's a difference. It's a way difference now because a lot of women don't want nobody beating on their kids, even the father. So you gotta look at it that way.
But let's be real though. I'm sorry. Go
ahead. My thing
that's why I'm solid.
Yeah, I'm like, nah. I'm like, my mom. If I caught it was I was raised in a time when it takes a village. So if I got caught by my aunt, I'm getting by my aunt, my uncle, my mom, my dad.
For sure.
Then if I go to my grandmother's house that Saturday, I'm getting behind my ass by my grandmother and my grandfather.
For sure.
All depends on what I did.
Let's shout out all the grandmothers back in the day because I'm telling you, if they say you're not on punishment, you're not on punishment.
Let's shout out all the Hey, but hold on. With that being said, hey, Coach Bird, man.
They say bring him to my house.
Hold on.
Hey, your mother walk in like he won't punish me. He can't do nothing. As soon as your mother leave, go outside.
There you go. There you go.
Yes.
I loved it.
Hey, fellas. Before we move on, man, Coach, it's about that time, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, man. Hey, listen, man. First time up. We on it tonight. I feel that vibe, man. You got some good quotes over there, some things for me to look into. What you said earlier. I mean, salute to all that, fellas. It's about that time. Coach checking out.
All right.
Yeah, man. Listen, before I go, man, let me just say this, man. Listen, man, it's been a pleasure sitting up here, man, chopping it up with y'all, man. Hopefully we can get this going, man. Just build this whole space, man. Shout out to Evo, man, Evolutionary, man. You my sister. And listen, everybody in the chat, man, listen, I just appreciate y'all pulling up, man. I'm just an old, light-skinned, ugly dude that had some life, some roller coaster rides, and just still trying to be out here in this fight. And as long as the good Lord is willing, my ticker's ticking, I'm going to fight to the end. So you crack babies, y'all get it together so we can move this thing forward. But salute
Negro,
to y'all, man.
if you're not wearing Depends, you're not old, okay?
I love myself. I ain't gonna never wear none. I'm gonna walk around shitting everywhere, man. Fucking shit, man. I'm wearing that shit, man. No, man. Salute to y'all, man. Be back,
All
man.
right, salute.
Take it easy, OG.
Take care, man. Carl, give everybody a break, man.
Safe.
Oh man.
Tough love forever.
Listen, I mean that's what it is. But I mean, fellas, and I mean, Carl, fellas, what you want to move on to? I mean, we got a lot of topics here. There's one that stood out to that male toxicity. Y'all want to talk about that?
Go for it.
Does that even exist?
Go for it.
No, it does.
It doesn't.
It does.
It doesn't.
I had to learn that it does.
No, it does not.
Please explain that.
I don't get toxic, but you're not. There's no masculinity. It's masculine and feminine. You toxic on if you're a female. You toxic if you're male. That's it.
But
Okay,
what you feel is toxic, somebody else might not.
That's them. If I see toxic, oh my bad. But if I see something that's toxic, even in my male friends, I'm gonna tell them like, yo, you're messing up.
Okay, I wanted to break down why I said I had to learn it. The toxicity that women have is not the same as men. Men toxicity, masculine toxicity, as you want to call it, it has to do with manipulation to get what you want. All right, sort of like a predator's mindset. Men and women both have predator mindset. I got that. But what motivates and incentive wise is different. Because give me the toxic. You know you're single. You know you're dealing with this chick. You know that you ain't supposed to cheat and sleep around. And yet you went ahead and did it with her sister or cousin. And now you're sitting here lying and trying to justify all the excuses. And you got into a fight. She got an order of protection. You got locked up. You came back out. And you still continue. See, that's a male toxicity.
No, that's insanity because you keep doing the same thing over and over again.
Right. But like I said, insanity, yes. But the toxicity is still there because you've been doing it for 10 years. 3 years, 30s, 40s. So you have guys out here. You got guys right now with 4 or 5 baby mamas, man. Come on.
But in today's age, that's not toxic. That's normal.
That's not toxic. That's just.
But see, this is my point. See, we're being selective on, and this is why I said we justify our own bullshit by being selective. Oh, this is toxic, but this is okay. No, it's not okay. You made it okay because you don't.
It's not okay. It's just
accountability.
It's the life though. It's the life of that person. We don't know. We don't know what could happen. When the first baby mother probably was beating his ass and he left. Second baby mother probably didn't love him. He left. He finally got somebody that he's with. And has his third baby. That's on him.
Which goes back to what we said earlier, how a person is raised. Who taught you dick discipline?
Oh, we're going on that now. Okay.
So hold on.
I mean, come on, dog.
I get that perspective, but
Everything has a beginning to get to somewhere, right?
But if you are in a relationship with each one of these women, you can't say he wasn't disciplined. It doesn't work.
If I drive into the gas station and I scratch the side of my car on that yellow pole, the next time I come in the gas station, I'm gonna be more careful.
And you can be more careful in the next relationship. But if it
But
don't
you
work,
had
it don't
4
work.
dents in the side of your car. 4 different cars. You keep denting the side of the car every time you go in a gas station.
Okay, I'm putting it to you like this. I got 4 dents with 3 different cars.
You can't drive, nigga.
So it's like now I'm like, all right, but all 4 of my dents know me. So it's like I was there from day one with them. So it's like
Let me put it this way, because someone said that's not toxic masculinity. It's when you prefer the drama over peace and and avoiding conflict. That's what I saw and learned as masculine toxic. You're more attracted to conflict and arguments and fights and all that than just sit back and stay out of it or draw people to you that's not into that. You understand? It's like somebody addicted to love and hip hop because they don't want to watch nothing intelligent. You get
Well,
what I'm
well,
saying?
well, hold on, Carl. It's funny you say that because I was just about to ask you that question, fellas. Because when you look at that, I think it's a cultural expectation that's only laid on us though for toxic masculinity.
Follow the leader.
Follow the leader, basically. I think that's the I think because you don't hear it in other cultures. Toxic
Of course
masculinity.
not. Of course not. We're
So
lost as black folks. We're lost. That's why we don't have a problem with follow the leader. From Jerry curls to beepers to cell phone, we follow what the next neighbors are doing. The only thing that black people don't follow, no matter how long since the '90s, we have not followed life insurance, man. 20 years later, niggas are still walking around talking about I'm a man with no life insurance. But there's a whole lot of GoFundMe.
to bury you when you die.
Come
Yeah.
on. But
Well,
you
I
got
mean,
mad money,
have
you
you ever
always
been?
had any, you got mad weed, go down your profile page, but you can't even afford $5, $10 a month for some
But hold
life
on,
insurance? Come
hold
on,
on,
dog.
fellas. Have any of y'all ever been toxic in our culture? In your
Oh,
lifetime?
have I been toxic?
Yeah,
Hell yeah.
have
My
you ever been called
earlier
toxic?
years, my earlier
I've
years,
been
I say
petty. I've been
I
petty,
didn't
but
come
not
out of it.
toxic.
I didn't come out of it until I hit about 32. I started really seeing stuff.
You want to
What
define that? You want to give us an example of that?
No, I was petty. I didn't care. I was I was I was that's what that way. I didn't care. I was like it was whatever. But then when I had my second child, my son, that's when it clicked in. Like, all right, you guys start putting stuff away and start thinking about things and making sure the kids are all right. I didn't get it.
Salute.
I didn't get it right until I had my second daughter.
So hold on, fellas. We also know that toxicity means that it's often referred to like we're suppressing our emotions and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have a healthy expression. That's male. That's toxic masculinity. We're not talking about. We don't want to lump everything a man does wrong.
I can't. I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but I can't separate it. It's like
Okay.
either you're toxic or you want to be a straight up dude. So it was like with me, I was toxic. Then I grew up. As I started growing up, I started seeing a lot more than what life was throwing at me, and with my kids, how my kids see me, and things like that.
That's like someone confusing the difference because you said about lumping up in one. It's like somebody confusing the difference between someone being aggressive versus someone being assertive.
Yeah.
So automatically, because you're assertive, someone's going to label you as being aggressive. No, no, no. You just don't want to accept me standing up for myself or stand on my business. That's all it is. That
So
doesn't make me aggressive.
what's that difference, Carl, between male and female? Let's be real. What's the difference between aggressive and assertiveness?
Purpose and
Aggressiveness.
design.
Mm.
Purpose and design. Because as far as I'm concerned, a woman can be assertive to her man, her husband, or to her boy, whoever. She can be assertive. But aggressive, I'm going to leave that to the men because that falls onto the protector. I don't want you out there fighting. That's my job. Does that make sense? I don't need you out there fighting. I understand guy attacks you, you got to fight to get away from him, but it's my job to go after him, knock him out, and take care of him, not yours.
I feel if a woman feels protected by you, she's not going to want to be aggressive.
Well, that depends on
If
how
you
she's raised
know,
because
if you
some
Yeah.
people are
know,
stuck in there.
All
Now,
depends
if
on how
she
it is.
knows, okay, if something happened, I'm in good hands. I'm protected. He's not gonna nothing happen to me. Her aggression is not gonna be there. She's not gonna need to be aggressive.
I would agree with you, but when you're stuck, it's like you so stuck in being independent, you don't know how to be interdependent
Mm-hmm.
because that's your first go-to. You used to surviving. So you don't know what it's like to sit in the passenger seat and relax. It's like an automatic response. I'm sorry, honey. I didn't mean to step on your toe. It's just in me to always stand up and be survival and be aggressive, and because that's what she had to do as a single person for so long. So yes, you can protect. You're capable, you're qualified, but it's going to take a transition for me to get this out of my system because I've been doing it too long. I'm stuck. Just
I'm
saying.
sorry, a woman needs to protect her when she sees one. Well, when she around one long enough, she knows. It's little subtle things she knows. You walking
Call it
down
a
the street,
reflex.
you gradually push her to the inside. She knows.
Call it a
You hold the door
reflex.
open for
That's a
her,
reflex.
no, baby, go ahead. I
For
got
us,
you.
that's a
You in the car
reflex.
there, she
Yeah.
knows.
Just call it a
She knows.
reflex.
She knows.
So when you talk about provide and protect, do we choose who we protect? Is there a qualification based on a female who we protect?
You damn right. Why you
Mm.
gonna protect somebody that wouldn't even wipe the shit from your ass if you're sick?
Well,
Huh?
I'm gonna protect anybody that's with me. I'm not gonna be out with you, hanging out, whatever, if I don't feel I can protect you, or
You're
there's a
giving
need to protect you.
you're talking about giving the bare
If
minimum of protection, not the full blown protection. Big difference.
Big difference.
Minimum is different than full blown.
So in the moment, how do you define that though? If you're around a female right now who's getting attacked or she's getting how do you define that?
Remember what you said earlier? There's a difference. Oh shit, that chick getting her ass whipped. 911. There's a chick on the corner getting. You understand? The full blown is you go and pull out your and you going over. Yo, dude, what you doing, man? Big difference.
Mm.
that's if it comes to that. It don't necessarily have to always come to that. I mean, that's
Never.
a resort,
Now,
you know.
So let me ask you this, Daryl. Do
I
you
say like
treat
this.
your friend?
I say like
Do
this.
you treat your
Hold on, Carl, 1
girlfriend
second.
as?
I didn't mean to cut you off. But our age right now, we know right from wrong from that.
Yeah.
We know what to do. We know what to do. These YNs out here, they don't give a damn.
Yeah.
They don't have the respect or the upbringing that we had.
You don't treat your girlfriend the same way you treat your friends and vice versa. Just like you don't treat your friends the same way you treat your wife. Just like you wouldn't give the same protection you would give your own mother is not how you would give your girlfriend. It's not. Come on, dog.
I mean that makes sense. I mean, but the difference between your mother and your girlfriend is that you're sleeping with her. So it's different relationship dynamic. So I mean,
Yeah.
regardless, you're gonna protect your mother regardless. But when it comes to a woman, I'm talking about a woman that does it in your own way versus pride versus ego. Let's bring it all back together. Do you think that okay, she ain't give me none yet, so I'm not protecting her, or I was
Bare
raised
minimum.
properly, so I got to protect every woman that's being attacked?
You can't
No,
think about it like that though.
No, bare minimum.
Because I look at it like this. If I'm out on a date with a woman, I always think about how would I want somebody to treat my daughters.
Yeah.
I want somebody to treat my moms. I want somebody to treat my aunts. I'm gonna look at it like that. So if somebody gets into it with her, yeah, I'm gonna stand up and stand up with her. But I'm not gonna sit up here with the bullshit. If she starts some shit, then I'm like, all right, look, you started this. So homeboy smack you can't get mad if I don't do nothing. Because I walked into you starting it, not me.
I'm looking at it too from a different lens that when you're sitting in a jail cell or a hospital room because you thought you was doing the right thing, but it wasn't the right thing. Like I said, because you jumped out and thought you could protect everybody, that's why you're sitting in a hospital right now or a jail cell because you thought you were doing the right thing, coming to the aid, and now you're locked up for assault.
That's
You
true.
understand what I'm saying? Or you're laying up in the hospital because his man helped him out. All you had to do was, 911 or, because again, you don't know.
You know, I think that I had a conversation with a couple of men, and they said to me, older men, they said to me, "Hey, let's be realistic. If she's around you, then she needs to be in an environment where that's not going to be possible. Like
Yeah.
Okay.
where you go, where you take her, the things that you do as an adult, as a man, that's part of also leadership. Being if you go on a date, if you like dancing, we're not going to go to an environment where we know, hey, I'm gonna have my ego. I'm gonna have to walk with the 45. You know what I mean? It's
But
gonna
you
bring
don't
you
know
back to a
she got
different time.
stalkers. You don't know she got ops. You don't know shit. This is new.
True.
As opposed to your wife you've been married to for the last 10, 12 years. Ain't no damn ops or stalkers. Nigga, I wish you would.
Well,
That's a full-blown protection then.
protection is also knowing when to walk away from a situation too. You know what, babe? This is not a you should be able to read the room or read the situation. Yo, listen, babe, I don't think this is a situation for us. Yo, let's get up out of here, man. I'm gonna take you someplace else, or we get out of this situation. It don't necessarily have to get to where you going to jail or you might end up in a hospital. You know, that's another way to
And
protect. You ain't always got to fight to protect.
you're talking about being proactive, and I get that. But now that leads into another door of cooperation and peace. Because if she's not cooperative to listen to you, trust your judgment. Amy, why we gotta leave? I don't want to see. There you go. I said let's go now because I see something you don't see, and you're not listening. You want to question. We don't got time
And
for
then-
explanation.
and if he's not listening, then that's not the woman you need to be with or be hanging out with. Period.
Jesus Christ! I thought
Which
we
Exactly.
is
we
That's why
which
got
is
sometimes you gotta walk away from that. Like, all
we
right, you
yeah.
got.
know what? You say
You
put a
being
car in my
able to
house.
walk away from a situation.
And that brings back to the point where listen, it depends on who you're courting because once I court you and I ask you certain questions, if you on that level and you say certain things to me, I know damn well you're gonna bring me back to a level of life that I don't need to be in.
That
So I'm
takes
not
time. You're right.
yeah, I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to date you but as men, we
Hmm.
do get caught up in the physical attrition where we get bombarded with different things and we stop thinking normal. When was the last time you dated a girl just because she was fire? You don't care who she was, what she did, whatever.
Mm.
I mean, there
See,
are times.
now you're learning lessons. Now I ain't fucking with this. Last time I did that shit, this is what happened. Or last time I saw that shit, that's what happened to Billy. No, I
Yeah,
ain't doing that.
nope.
Learning lesson.
Larry,
Nobody hurt me. I
I'm
wish I
walking
would
away.
stop this. We said this at the beginning of the program. We're just speaking from different perspective and lens in general. It is not a personal where I'm talking about what I experienced because I didn't have that. I don't have no psychological hurt, pain, or none of that shit. So please don't direct that here. I'm just responding to the
what?
comment real quick.
What? Hold on. Oh, hold on. Hey, so hold on. Let me. I have a question. I got a question I want to ask because I think you fellas,
Mm,
I've been on with you before, and I
mm,
respect your cognitive ability, meaning you can respond. Hey, so I would love for Carl, starting with you though. Who,
mm.
who something that's popping in my mind. Who do you think is responsible for pregnancies, the male or the female?
Who what?
Who's responsible for pregnancy?
Both parties. Both
How?
parties. In a world of predators, you went out because you wanted it, and she accepted and allowed it. So you're both responsible. Come on.
Mm.
If both of us is driving two separate cars going 100 miles an hour, we both know it's a race, but we both know one of us can crash into a wall. You accepted the risk. That's why we're both going 100 miles an hour. So the outcome is the outcome. But to be honest, though, I am going to go back, and this is not an attack. Before you grant this man access, there is a vetting process. Never fuck a man that don't have life insurance. Don't fuck a man that doesn't demonstrate consistency and stability. Because you cannot tell me he looked fine. And now after you're pregnant, now he's homeless, he got a small dick and all that. You know this shit when you met him? Or you didn't know? The vetting process gotta be there, bro. You can't let a homeless guy in you.
Like I said, I agree with Carl. It's both situations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Both of us got to take responsibility for what we did. So,
Because you could have said no, and now you went and got you pregnant.
yep.
That makes sense. Well,
All right.
you know, it's funny because we had that time, man. I introduced that topic because I think we're gonna continue this conversation next week, fellas.
I think we definitely need to continue that one next time. That's
Yeah.
that trigger for me, and I'm gonna keep it a certain level. That's definitely a trigger for me, but I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep it professional, and I'm just I'm gonna be emotionally intelligent. So they say.
Nice.
Nice,
PC.
nice.
Hey,
Smooth,
that's
brother.
what's up.
Nice,
Smooth.
smooth PC. Yep.
But I'm gonna dig deep
You want to
into
dig
my
a little bit
emotional
deeper?
intelligence. But we definitely gonna talk about that one next time. We definitely gotta
Yeah.
talk about
Next
It's
Thursday.
it's
we'll
all
jump
about
into it.
options and choices in life, always.
And plus, we'll have coach back, so he can give his
He can give us, yeah, he could, yeah. So everybody, I mean, it's about that time. Hey, Evo, yeah, I think it's that final thoughts. Next week we're gonna pop up with this, figure out this question, man. Who's
Yeah,
responsible for
we
pregnancy?
definitely
We're
gonna.
gonna tap back into that.
Good. I got 6 days to think about it. Got 6 days to get
Now I'll take 6 days to
Let me
calm
ask,
down.
let me do this. I got to put this in here. However you think about it, based on whatever exposures you have, experience, whatever, please stay away from making excuses. Because justifying bullshit is the biggest lie one could tell itself.
Hey,
Oh
but
yeah.
hold that. Hey, hold that, Carl, because that could be your final thought. Hey,
Yep.
I mean,
Hold on to that.
let's jump into that. We got that. Let's jump into final thoughts, man, and let's run that real quick and see how that runs. I mean, because at the end of the day, you know, I think this is a good topic to segue into next time. Hey, Carl, we're gonna start with you, brother. What you got?
Final thought. I know I sound like a broken record, but I know it's very pertinent because if you hear it enough, maybe one day it may go, maybe I need to try this. I say, as a advocate for women, that you have the power to turn the key or not put the key in at all. You have that power. So if you're vetting more properly based upon what you see out here, and if you don't want to believe me, go back and watch movies like Baby Boy. You know, this just look around you. You know, vet properly so this way you can get a different and better quality than what you're used to or what is attracting you or what you're attracted. Change the environment. I'm not sleeping with no man that doesn't have life insurance, that doesn't have his shit together. I'm not taking just anything. If you are sitting out here and you're not productive, I cannot claim later that you're broke. Okay, and I'm only saying this because in the back of my mind, and I don't want to take too much time, I'm still bothered by this whole Papoose Remy Ma thing. You understand? So it's sort of like why you got all the negative to say after the fact when it was there all along. You didn't say nothing all that time. If you, like I said, if you met him with a small dick, he had a small dick for the whole time you was with him. Don't wait till after you break up with him and want to clown him about that. Or he was broke. He was broke when he met you. So what's the difference? You fucked him, you had kids by him and everything. How the hell he's all of a sudden broke? So I'm only saying this because we as black people need to vet better. And if we try learning what interdependency is, how to get along with each other, we may have a better outcome. Change your environment. Salute.
That's what's up. We wrapping. Who's going on next? Just D, you want to wrap up?
Yeah, I'll wrap up. First, I want to give a shout out to my brothers at the Hot Seat Podcast for tuning in. My boy Sean and Xavier, love you, bro. I say like this: basically, life is life. Ain't nothing we can do. Keep it short, keep it sweet. If you make your decisions, make them wisely, and think about it before you do it. The best thing I can say to do in certain situations, think before you move. Play that game of chess in your head before you make that final decision. That's all I gotta say. Salute.
Much respect, Just D. With that being said, hey Daryl, you're on point, brother.
All right. I just want to say salute to everybody in the chat and to my brothers up here on the panel. I feel like I made new brothers. I can actually call brothers and call y'all family. People I can talk to, get a lot of stuff out, get a lot of advice, laugh, talk, joke around. I mean, it's a great feeling and it's a good thing. We as black men, we need this. This can be a therapy session for us if we let it. It can definitely help us get through a lot of things. Also, shout out to Evo for putting this together. I really appreciate you doing this, and we got you. That's it.
Salute, brother. Appreciate that shout out, man. What everybody's going on. Hey, I'm gonna get to mine. Like, listen, I'm not a man of many words unless we're having a dialogue and we're talking about intellectual things. But there's one thing that I must say to our fellas, man. Healing doesn't make you soft; it makes you safe. And I need you to take that with you and carry on to the rest of the week for next week and everything till we get back Thursday. Shout out to everybody that joined. Love and respect. But this is our first time out. And I think this is a very good safe space. We're amongst some men who have knowledge, who can partake and put out some things out there. So take what you can take from it and then move on. And that's all I got. Love and respect, everybody. See you next week.
Salute.
Salute, brother.
Salute, brothers.